How does doing side jobs hurt your disability case? A lot of times what happens is that during the disability process, you're trying to survive. And let me just be blunt, and I probably have shared this in countless videos. Let's be real. You're gonna make more money working than you will be getting disability benefits. Goes without saying. However, sometimes what happens, people don't realize, even when you try to do side work, it can help sometimes, but sometimes it can hurt. Well, what do you mean by it can help? Well, if you've gone to do work and you're attempting to do work, but your physical or mental condition prevents you from doing it. Let's say you tried a job for 20, 30 days, and for some odd reason you couldn't do it because you're in so much pain from your pain condition, or you're having memory issues that you've always had, and memories cause you not to be able to retain the ability to learn the job. That can be utilized as evidence to support your disability claim. But let me tell you where it usually catches people. This is where side jobs catch up to them. One, they're not doing it to the level where they can fully do it. They're only doing it just enough to make money and keep themselves within the threshold of Social Security, or at least in their mind, the threshold. What do you mean by that? Like, I'll have somebody who'll say, I'll ask them, hey, are you doing side, what's going on? Are you working? Well, yeah, I got a little side job. Huh? How many hours a week do? Oh, I'm doing about 10 hours a week. Then the magical question I'm going to ask you is this. Why are you only doing it 10 hours? And then they'll say, oh, because I can't do it any longer than that. Then I'll ask them, does the side job afford you the ability to work more than 10 hours? If the answer is no, then you're like, well, wait a minute, but you're doing it the full 10 hours, right? Yeah. Not have any problems? Well, no, but I don't think I could do it any more than that. Oh, so you don't think. So in other words, you don't know if you can't do it anymore. You just know right now you're doing 10 hours a week. And from 10 hours a week, that's all they're giving you. Have you asked for more than 10 hours? Do you think you can do more than 10 hours? And this is where it gets tricky, because a lot of times, all of a either she or he are asking you those same questions, and you get the motor mouth because you don't quite know what to say. You feel like the judge has got you and you're freaking out. Be mindful, because a lot of times what happens is that people feel like if I make a couple of extra dollars, Social Security is not going to lose a lot of sleep. They're going to want to know, what do I always say? And I've said it a million times in videos. It's not what you do, it's the context of how you do it. It's not that you're going to school, it's the context of what happens when you're in school. Same thing when you do a side job. And what happens that I see where it hurts people, and no, don't get me wrong, it doesn't hurt you all the time. But what happens is that I'll see people who will get side jobs, and one, they could probably do more work than basically what they're doing, usually because the person is only prescribing them a certain number of hours to begin with. Two, they're acquiring skills that now can be utilized to determine whether or not they could use in other capacities. What do you mean by that? Well, if you've never done work doing, a particular type of thing, but now you've learned the skills of doing it because you've done it for a long time as a side job, guess what? When Social Security is trying to decide if you can do your past work or other work, they're going to look at that skill set. More importantly, other work, because they're going to say, is that considered past relevant work? And if the court determines that, yes, that's a job that they should keep in mind, they're going to look at the skill set from that side job and see if those skills can be utilized for other work. All of a sudden you're like, oh, that's right. Listen, I tell people all the time, because I'm in cases with people, I've been with people for 2 months, 2 years, maybe even longer, and I say, listen, you got to survive. I ain't going to tell you what you should and what you should not do. You got to do you got to do you, boo-boo. I understand. Just know that if you decide to take a job or a side job, that it may have an impact on your disability case. It could be positive or it could be negative. It really depends on the context of it. Just know that there's always a possibility that it can hurt your case.